What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of A Piece of Schmidt. Today we're joined by Jordan Lamb, Peter Walker, and as always, Wes B. Of course, if you didn't already know, this is a podcast where friends sit around a table and talk about whatever they want to talk about. It gets broken up topic by topic and released on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Let's see, we're working on getting the audio up on SoundCloud, and we'll let you know as soon as that happens. Peter, guests always go first.
Alright, well, I guess I was just going to talk about the news. So, lately, I don't know if you guys have heard, so obviously very sad, Terry Pratchett died this morning.
I just heard about that.
How
do you not know Terry Pratchett?
He's an author.
You don't read books, it's okay.
I do, though.
Did you ever read
Oh my goodness.
Did you ever read Good Omens? No. Oh,
okay, maybe I don't read books.
First off, hilarious book. I love it.
I mean, I read books.
Dude, this guy is like
60 plus novels.
Fantasy icon, okay? Like,
so like George R.R. Martin.
He's like Neil Gaiman in
like,
popularity, like
more,
same level.
Like if you talk to somebody who writes books,
Terry
Pratchett is like one of the icons for people who are like really good that write books.
I mean, I guess
I'm gonna look him up on my phone.
My roommate was saying, I guess like he live tweeted his own death more or less.
What?
It was like on Twitter, like all morning, like up until he died. That's what I heard. I didn't end up looking.
I feel like that probably wasn't him because he died from early onset Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know.
No, you're
right.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right.
You never know. He could have had a moment of clarity and then, bit the dust. But, I mean, I feel like if you're going to have a moment of clarity, that's not one of the things you choose to do.
Better live
Let's tweet about
myself dying.
Yeah. Plus, he was pretty aged at that point.
Well, fucking...
Yeah.
Never fucking heard of this guy.
Sorry, my friend.
Nerd cred lost.
I've heard of him. I can also, to my knowledge, I don't think I've read a book, but I know what he does because he did
telling you
Discworld. It's one of his probably more famous novels.
No.
Good Omens. Neil Gaiman, Terry Pratchett. They write a book about. It's about the apocalypse, but it's like really like kind of quorky. I don't know. It's funny.
Neil Gaiman is also very good.
Yeah, he wrote the Dark Tower series. If you have not,
which I had not read.
That's Stephen King.
You're right.
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm wrong too. You're right.
We can edit that.
Nerd cred lost. Game back.
We'll take it out in post. It'll be fine.
No, only things that make me look bad get taken out in post.
Here's the thing. He doesn't tell you. He wants all three of us to look bad, but he's going to look great.
Right, that's how it works. But we'll take this.
That's bullshit. I gave him a nice chair this week.
That's
true enough.
I'm very happy about it. Thankful.
And the dog.
It's not fair because you stole it away from me.
Is your chair? No, you called it second. It's like shotgun. Yeah.
It's only shotgun if he wins.
And here's the
because
thing.
I can still push him
already
out of the
also
chair
in it.
Get the chair.
It's really funny too because before you guys got here, I was sitting here in my chair making my intro, and I was like, if we get enough episodes, somebody is gonna say, how come Aaron never gives them the nice chair? And then by all means you were like, hey, can I have the nice chair? It's like, you fucker.
Oh, it squeaks.
See, I'm nice. I would just let the host have the nice chair because.
Thank you. That's what I was expecting.
I'm a good general.
I mean, I was assuming that I wasn't
And
going to get it.
Let's not go that.
The answer
You were
is no.
assuming
if
you were
don't-
gonna get it?
I was assuming I wasn't going to get it. But like the answer is no until you ask. So
Yeah. And see, I'm nice enough to give it to you.
Yeah, thank you.
But episode 6, we should have the same chair, so I won't have to have the computer chair. Did you just knock over some stuff?
No, I just heard a flip.
He knocked over.
That's definitely something not being knocked over if you ever see
knocked
cartoons.
over every-
No, it's fine.
Okay, so Terry Pratchett. What's the best Terry Pratchett novel?
Truthfully,
your opinion?
I only read Good Omens, but I do know he's just really influential. Like a lot.
Yeah, I haven't read a lot of his books, but I have heard that he is one of the most influential fantasy.
We're like the worst. We're like, oh my god, you don't even take.
Shut your mouth.
Have you read Terry Pratchett?
I think that's really funny.
You made me feel like an asshole.
No, but like I know who he is.
I didn't know who he was.
I got introduced to him not too long ago, so I haven't really gotten a chance to filter through enough of my book library to get to it.
Mm.
But yes, he is very influential.
Okay.
But anyways, terrible thing that happened this morning.
I agree.
We should all cry.
And then Leonard Nimoy last week.
Yes,
Yeah,
I mean
but-
it's. Oh my goodness, this is too much. Too much. That
Too much
like
tuna?
man, I grew up with him in Star Trek, and now
Yeah.
he's dead, and it makes me sad.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was all about Star Trek when I grew up. It's great.
My stepdad was, and I didn't get into it.
We
I was
were
like, this
more
is
of a
weird that
wars
you like
kinda
this space
family.
stuff.
And then now you're all into.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm a
It's funny
completely
how-
different man than I was little boy. And not only a lot of people can say that.
I don't know if that sounded creepy or just wrong, but it was one of those.
Or both.
I accept
Maybe,
you
yeah.
for who you are, my friend.
Thank you.
You don't have to worry.
I'm gonna be honest, I came into who I am, like as a nerd, as a gamer, as a comic book lover, super late in life. Not that I'm super old, but like,
Right.
I didn't grow up
Relatively
with
speaking.
it. I didn't grow up with it at all.
Yeah. My parents weren't really into it at all, so I
Yeah, same.
kind of found it all myself.
Yeah,
And
I
through
mean,
the
my parents were
friends that
sports.
yeah.
and-
I guess I'm nerd spoiled because like my dad is like a huge nerd, so like I grew up like Unreal Tournament
Mm.
when I was like 6,
Yeah.
Quake 2, like all that stuff since I was little kid.
Dude, I
See, I was
started
into
with
old
Warcraft
PC
3, man.
games, like original Prince of Persia on the big ass floppy disk, original Duke Nukem, all that stuff.
Did you
I had
own
Duke
it?
Nukem.
Yes,
That's crazy.
on floppy.
We had was it Total Annihilation was the big game for my dad and his friends. So RTS.
Yeah, for us it was Command and Conquer.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
So what
and those are like the it's like Contra and Metal Slug.
Yeah.
It's like the same, but RTSs
Yes.
for back then.
What else is big in the news?
The Ferguson thing.
No, this already
So-
happened to me. I don't read the real news. I only read.
So there's another Ferguson thing. So today, in front of the police office, 2 officers got shot. 2 Ferguson officers got shot.
Black
So,
or white.
I did not.
So that's not
See that.
that's
That
not the
matters.
issue this time.
No. No. I mean, yes, it kind of is. That's the root of the issue. But like the fact that 2 cops got shot is just gonna start a whole mess of things because now you're gonna probably see like all the people who were protesting be like, all the people who were protesting the protesters. So all the people are like, yeah, Blue Lives Matter. Our cops are good. Are gonna start just going wild, and that's just gonna agitate things. And it's just gonna be terrible. Yeah,
I just think the whole thing is such. It's sad. It's
Yeah,
really
it
sad.
is terrible,
But I would
terrible.
rather not bring attention to it, right? You know, because
Yeah, but I mean, it's important. I mean,
Is
it
it,
is. Well, the root of the problem is
correct.
like a lot of African American people get killed by police more than they should compared to white people. So it's like it matters, but it just sucks that this is how it has to be fixed. You know what I mean?
It's not the right way to go about it, and by making it a big news story, by the more we talk about it, the more attention that person gets who shot the cops. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't think it's fixing the issue at all.
No, but I think it's terrible that it happened, and that there's gonna be more stuff for this in the coming weeks.
It's
I'm
gonna get
sure
worse
of it.
before it gets
Yeah,
better.
this was not just like a by the way, this was not an anecdote. Like
Mhm.
this is gonna be a big deal.
Thoughts?
The crap is about to drop into the frying pan, so to speak.
No one's ever spoke that. So too.
Into Ferguson.
I'm so glad I don't live in Missouri.
So glad we're
Yeah.
here.
You lived in Missouri?
Yeah, I live in Columbia.
Damn.
So like literally the midway point between Kansas City and St. Louis,
Awesome.
right there.
Good times? Bad times?
Times.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that people make a bigger deal out of racial profiling and racism than it actually is. I mean, it is there. It exists. I just think that people point fingers at it as an excuse to not look at the real reasons of things going on.
Interesting.
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, I mean, like, crime happens, and let's say it involves an African American person or somebody who is of
Color.
color, yeah, or you know any race that
Not
is
Caucasian.
not Caucasian, and you know a lot of people will view certain outcomes of said trials or what have you as being
Racially biased?
racially biased, and it's like, well, if they deserve the time that they get or whatever they end up getting, then they deserve it. Race doesn't have to enter into the equation at all. And it's like when people say, "Oh, only black people get arrested for blah 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 blah," or African American people, what have you. It's if you look at the numbers, and I haven't looked at the numbers, but I would, in certain parts of America, there is a larger portion of crime that happens for certain demographic groups. And that's just a fact.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be brought into a racial spectrum any further than that.
I think.
And crime is crime. I don't think it needs to be any more than that.
I think that's not the point, though. It's like
I know, but I mean it's
so. For example, the original thing that happened in Ferguson was that the kid got shot because somebody had thought he was robbing a convenience store, and then obviously the officer's account was different than the other accounts, but that's like the crime that he was charged with that incited the officer's encounter with him.
Yeah.
And he was killed because of it. Whereas if you look at the Aurora shooting that happened in Colorado like 3 years ago, they arrested that guy and just took him in. He killed a bunch of people, and they still took him in.
But I don't necessarily think that things getting out of hand happens to necessarily have anything to do whatsoever with the fact that he was an African American.
Right, it's the point
I think
that happens more often than it should.
Yeah, I just feel like people going into the streets and protesting because a white guy shot a black guy, or vice versa, I think that they're blowing it out of proportion more than it needs to be.
The only thing I say with the Ferguson thing, it was an unarmed black kid that got shot. That was the whole big issue. He was unarmed and got shot. They didn't try anything else, at least that I know of. I haven't done any research into the story besides that.
But. And you need to look at all sorts of things. Was he... he shouldn't have been shot if he was unarmed.
Yes.
Now, that being said, if he was doing something, and the honest fact is there's very little way to prove it, if he was doing something that made the cop threaten for his life, then he has the right to defend himself. So if I'm thinking I'm about to get shot by this kid, regardless if he actually has a weapon or not, if I believe, period, that he has a weapon and is going to shoot me, you should be able to defend yourself. Now, could he have made an effort to fully grasp whether or not he had a weapon or not? Sure. But the thing is, there's no way to verifiably know whether there was or not. Because it all happens like this, and it's he said, she said. There's only so much that you can go into.
I think it's the racial thing to look at right now. I think it's the thing about race to point your finger at. And that's why we're talking about it. And that's why it's in the news.
Things are different for us. Because we're all white.
Yeah.
So we really don't know.
But it's also personal values as well. Because for me, I don't care what race you come from, where you come from, what have you. If you're a cool person, you're a cool person.
Yeah, if we get along, we get along. Whatever.
Yeah, if we get along. If I think you're sketchy and I want you to be away from, don't want to be away from you, I'm going to not hang out with you. But I'm not going to think any differently because of who you are.
And we are all in a line of work where we deal with that a lot. Customer service. We deal with people on a day-to-day basis near the SeaTac airport where you get every single kind of race.
Yeah.
And I agree. You have to look at it as a person to person, and it's not. The problem is when I don't know.
Problem is when it's actually a factor, when it is actually happening, and it is racism, which certain parts of this country there still exists. That's when it's a big problem. But I think that those and I don't live in those parts of the country, so, you know, my view of this is skewed, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
the point that I was going to get to with... No. With us working in the industry is that I will encounter a black man being arrested in our store for stealing, and then the next minute help a black man in a suit that is the nicest person I've ever met, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
It just like the race doesn't matter. It's how you
somebody
grew up, how you were
presents
raised,
themselves, too.
how you present yourself, your standards, your principles. Yeah, I think it's just the race thing to look at right now. It's just the thing to point your finger at.
And it's scandalous.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why people like
What
it.
else?
My last news thing. The 47 Republican senators that accidentally committed treason. Did you guys hear about this?
No.
So a
Yeah,
bunch of members of the GOP, pretty much all of the members of the GOP in Congress, wrote a letter to Iran saying not to approve this new policy that Obama's trying to put into place because when he is out of office, they're just going to overturn everything he did.
Is that
And that is treason.
It's the nuclear. It's like a nuclear deal we're gonna have with Iran, right?
Something like that. I can look it up real quick for the
Yeah, by all
Yeah, I
means.
saw it. Like, the letter flat out says, yeah, even if he passes this, we have the ability to overturn it in the House. Once he's out of power, the new elected president can have the power to overturn it as well.
Seems like it's not an accident.
No,
you don't accidentally send a letter to Iran saying,
No.
hey,
The
we have power to veto this dude, so
Just say no.
be careful and say no.
I think
don't
the
think-
accident was it got out.
Right.
The accident is always like, oh, we found out about it.
You shouldn't be doing it in the first
How many
place.
letters are being written, right? Like, not very many.
No.
In that scenario, right?
Right.
In the other cases that have happened,
Wow.
who's
So
sending a letter? Like
As of
that?
8 hours ago, 235,000 people have signed a petition calling for treason charges for the 47 senators.
Jeez.
As of 8 hours ago.
I mean,
If anybody watches House of Cards, we know that place is fucked.
Okay, the petition is calling for treason charges to be filed against
Just
the
not
47
surprised.
Republican senators who sent a letter to Iranian leaders this week warning them that Congress has to approve a nuclear deal that is made with the country. So, yeah, it's the nuclear thing.
yeah. I mean, it's borderline-ish, I guess. I mean, it is what it is, but I don't know.
I on it, like, this shit happens, it's just once in a while it gets out.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
once in a while we find out about it.
Yeah.
But this shit happens all the fucking time.
Yeah. All
Deals,
Can I see your phone for a
handshakes, money.
Let me see if I want to verify one thing before.
Before you call everyone out on the internet for being bastards?
No.
Okay.
No. No. Not that.
I gotta give it to him for the shirt of the day.
I dig it.
Shirt of the week.
Mine's
Dig it.
comics.
That's true. That's bad
It's like
stuff.
obscure, like hipster
I need
comics.
to just
That's why I
like
don't-
go out and buy a whole bunch of nerd shirts so I can wear them on the show.
No, dude,
Yeah.
you don't understand. Like, so Coheed and Cambria, it's their comic.
I know, I hate Conan.
Oh.
You have terrible taste.
Definitely think that had everything to do with Assassin's Creed. Before you actually said that. Because like
Which
the
one?
text-
Which Assassin's Creed?
Any of them, but like look at the
Why,
V,
though?
right? Like, and the text is so Assassin's Creed. You know?
Black Flag?
Before.
I don't even
Assassin's
know,
Creed
man.
4?
Dude, that's my favorite one of the
Oh,
whole
by far,
series.
by far.
Yeah, I haven't played Rouge yet, but I've heard that it's very good.
I played the first one.
You made everybody go like,
All right. So speaking of news, this was the stupidest thing I heard in the news today.
Okay.
When in official letters or official documents and stuff in Florida, they banned the use of the words climate change and global warming.
Oh my god.
Yes. Because again, back to this, right?
That's amazing.
It's so horrible. Banning
I love
words,
it. It's
banning
great.
that because it's so harsh to say when talking about climate change and global warming. It's Florida, they don't think it exists.
Have you ever heard? so you go on Reddit. So there's a subreddit called Florida Man about the worst superhero ever, and it's all like the news articles.
Him that does everything.
It's all about the news articles. That's like Florida Man arrested for this. It's like all about.
Oh my God.
As if it was just one guy.
Yeah.
It's our Florida Man, and I love it. It's so perfect.
So there's a church in Florida today that got it's no taxation taken away. Because it turns out it was actually a nightclub.
That's hilarious.
Okay, let's see.
Well deserved of tax.
So I just wrote band and it looks like boned. So that'll be fun.
All right.
I think you need to work on your penmanship.
I came from the most hickish town. My English teachers all throughout school were like a year older.
So here's like the top 3.
That's terrifying.
On our Florida Man. Number 1, cops sell Florida Man drugs, then kill him. Shoot one of their own cops in the process.
Florida Man.
The next one. Florida Man found passed out on the couch covered in cat blood. Florida Man accidentally shoots self to death while riding bicycle. Florida Man's just the worst.
Jesus. Anything else?
No, I think that wraps it up for me.
Okay.
I don't watch the news.
Guess
That's
2.
super depressing.
Yeah. Really? Right? Like
who wants to talk about or
Nice
watch
topic,
or
bro.
listen
I know,
to people shooting themselves?
It's
like
depressing,
Florida
but
Man?
it's like it's important.
It is.
It's
important.
good to know what's going on out there.
Yeah.
it's true. It's insane how ignorant I am to what's going on around me in the real world.
It's alright, man, because we got video games.
Right?
And that's all we need.
The sad thing is,
And
it's
movies.
like
I need to read
and
the
movies.
news more.
I'm
I
more
really-
like up to date with video game news than like actual world news.
Here we go. Here's all we have
Like
to do.
I knew within like
Just
an
have
hour
him
that they pushed
on
it.
And
the
look how
cast.
much you know about real news.
Yeah,
Like, look at
that's-
me.
Just have him on the cast every 2 weeks, and we'll figure out what's going on in the real news.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be that guy.
Oh.
Right? Great idea. Because this
I'll have to
guy-
get like
That's
a
what
suit.
happens
I'll be
out
the
there.
I'll be the real guy.
yeah, just come in and shoot
Our news
tie.
correspondent.
A t-shirt with tie.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's a t-shirt.
So,
the text
so we're
shirt.
gonna have
Yeah.
a weather segment too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that'll be just
correct.
music.
And it'll just be like, it looks
like
dark.
when I
It
do.
looks dark.
I think it might be nighttime.
Rain, possibly.
I don't know. I was playing Fallout all day.
My phone says 47, but I don't know what that means.
It was raining when I was playing
I think that's military time.
Legends of Zelda
Yeah.
today.